Hi, my gorgeous Aquariuses. This is your homework family reading for the month of February. And I'm being reminded to tell some of you, okay, the way it works is just because it's Aquarius season does not mean you're in your first house. Not necessarily. You can't be in your first house until you've crossed your birthday, for one. And then it's entering into your first house. So some of you haven't necessarily gotten to your first house yet, or you're just coming into the reborn area. Um, but you still have a ton of energy going on in your 12th house, your first house, and your second house, which has a lot to do with healing, maturing, and growing. And how you see yourself, your character, and where you're taking that. A lot of this is going to have to do with forgiveness for yourself. What I'm getting is family judgment, but I really feel that a lot of it is also going to be dealing with not just family judgment, but like personal judgment and forgiveness and acceptance as you're moving forward, which will help align all of your chakras a little bit better. Because yeah, the chakra energies are now coming in, as well as the Mars and the Moon. So emotionally taking action or emotionally understanding the actions you've already been taking. Um, Seeing it from a higher perspective, maybe, but definitely dealing with some judgment, some family judgment, overcoming some grief, sorrow, shame, blame, and insecurities, because that would have been the 12th house. And your reasoning, literally the way you were thinking and viewing it, and how that was either helping support you or was it, and where it no longer serves you. Is there anything else? Yeah, they keep pointing out, I guess, that it's okay to be disappointed. Maybe it's disappointed in others, or even with yourself, but that's nothing to harp on or hold on to. It's just acknowledging what happened and where it's going to go or where it can go, and knowing that that has to do with a maturity within the self, within the character, as well as the relationships themselves, and understanding yourself on a deeper level. But this is definitely a time of taking action and starting to move forward. Trust in your divine wisdom and the spiritual connection, because it is definitely leading you down a more magical spiritual path, is what they just said. I'm going to get into it deeper in a minute when I start looking at the astrology itself. Let me put this back. I have all my notes here so that, if I got something coming at me, I can catch it. You are also, let me double check something. You're definitely, because like I said, some of you are just coming into your first house. Some of you are still coming out of your 12th, but you've got all kinds of energy taking place in your free will zone, really is what it's coming down to. Your self-identity, your ego and introverted energy, but it's the belief of your free will, and then what you will do with it, with your self-motivated, action-oriented, self-assertive energies. And the healing and the lessons are being taught there. You're being given the wisdom to understand it from a new point of view. And they're saying, don't be afraid of it either. Yeah, they're saying, don't be afraid of it, and don't be afraid to speak. I don't want to say speak your mind, but speak your truth. They're saying if some of you are having problems with speaking with authority what it is that you want to say, and they're saying, stop that. Don't be disappointed in yourself either, from where you haven't in the past, start doing it now. And some of you are still feeling weighed down, by the world, the responsibilities of the physical aspects. And that keeps you more from your spiritual path when you are allowing that three-dimensional world to kind of cave in and show more of its dictatorship over you. So they're saying not let it go, not to hold on to it, not to harp on it, but to trust in your spiritual skills. And for some of you, this has to do with taking masculine energy, masculine action. But for some of you, this is also dealing with a male figure or a father figure who you feel is keeping you from getting there. Something is like blocking or stopping you from moving forward. And it's also what's slowing you down and keeping you from your intuition. And for some of you, it's you trying to overpower it and be too masculine, trying to over control the situation. But everything that's happening right now is definitely manifesting. So make sure you're stepping out of just the three-dimensional mindset, because it is actually manifesting on all the different dimensions. And for wherever you're viewing it, from the dimensional energy that you're viewing it from, I always say the second house is how we feel about ourselves. It's our self-worth, our self-value, our self-esteem. And depending on where you're feeling in that energy, that's the law of attraction. That's where the manifestation comes from. And you're being triggered in, like I said, your 12th house, your first house, and your second house. So this is definitely helping you see where in some areas you haven't been in your power. Some hours, energies you haven't. Excuse me. But that also means that where the head's been clogged up with some funky mess, some wrong ideas, some ways you've perceived it, but it's not really the true or clear, honest way. Um, because you're learning to see yourself from a different perspective, from a higher perspective. You're learning to heal things that you may not have known, and then you're growing in that aspect. But then you question it and you doubt it, which then causes the supernatural highway to go. And when I say supernatural highway, I mean the heart and the head. So where the crown and the head and the brain and the heart are trying to, that's the I coulda, shoulda, woulda, and where you're holding on to weighs you down. So you've got to release that. You've got to let it go. So there's ways to alleviate some of the problems that's slowing you down, is be willing to try new things and new ways of manifesting in general. You got to be willing to learn something or step into energies that you're not very secure with, and try something new. Step out of your comfort zone. Okay, you're messing me up, cards. What is going on? Sorry, I have a phone call coming in. I do everything on my phone. What does Aquarius need to hear? What does Aquarius need to hear? What does Aquarius need to hear before we get into the astrology? What does Aquarius need to hear before we get into astrology? One of your ruling planets. It's time to stand. This is one of my own personal decks that I made for myself. So this is coming into your liberation. Trust in it, believe in it, know it, allow it. Don't get in your own way. Independence, individuality, breaking free, breaking from the chains, finding the freedom in yourself by believing in yourself, by taking a new chance, by trying new things, because it's only going to help you grow and become an even better part of you. What else? That's also in your second house right now, Uranus is, which is talking to you about that coming into your power in general. Is it your second house? Yeah. No, but I'll check that out in a second. Daredevil. Again, try new things. Be willing to try new things. Take a rest. Take a risk. Tempt fate. Try something new. Sorry, keep getting a phone call. Keep trying something new. It's going to lead you to a new perspective, a new open mind, a new thing. Be willing to get out of your way. Where are you? I feel you, but you're because it's my deck. It's like a little. They're not as hard as the others, so sometimes it's harder to find them. What is it? What is it? What is it? No, stop moving. I'm gonna go on to another deck in a second. Okay, they're talking to me from a different point of view because apparently I'm having trouble finding it. They're saying that some of you are going through a part of helplessness and feeling rejected, and this is all ego. That's all that is. That's ego and not being sure that you're going to be able to come into that power. You're doubting yourself too much. You're putting too much on yourself. Let that go. It's stopping you from getting to the destination that you could be getting to. There's a door that you're not being able to walk through because you hold on to the rejection or question yourself or the doubt. You over analyze it and make yourself paranoid and drive yourself nuts. They're saying you got to let that go. Now what they're giving me is Virgo, which is those over mundane tasks. It's troubleshooting. It's the anal retentive part of it. Is exactly what we were just saying. Stop over pushing yourself. You're trying to push to receive, is what they just said. Stop pushing to receive because you're getting in your own way and you're putting your own self down, trying too hard. Nobody's perfect, and you're going to be able to come into what you're supposed to just fine. What else does Aquarius need to hear from this deck? Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to hear? What does Aquarius need to hear? Aquarius. And then I'm going to hit the astrology and walk you through a little bit of it. Oh, my lovely. Because witch and unicorn. You are the most magical thing that there is. Witch and unicorn. You are the most magical and most powerful thing there is. So you can destroy yourself or you can resurrect and rebuild yourself. So pay attention to what you're feeding yourself. You are the most magical thing with the most powerful energy out there. If you trust yourself and you believe in yourself, you can direct it where you want. If not, then you will cause yourself the problem. Because I don't even know what the true deck means, but for me, the hag is showing that you're going to go through twice as much pain to get to the lesson, which can be a lesson, but it's a lesson learned so much further down the road when you can learn it now by tapping into your magical self, your magical, trust your psychic abilities, your intuition, trust in it now, believe in it, stop questioning it, stop feeling that you're going to worry about whatever other people think and rejection from others. Salamander, this is trust in your fire, trust in your rebirth. Yeah. This is going to be very good for you. No more weighed down. Stop it. Get out and let your creativity go. Let your inner child have fun. so that you can learn more about you. Now, when I get into the astrology, Mercury is leaving Capricorn, which is your 12th house, on the 14th and is entering your house. So your communication will clear up. Your communication of the world around you and how you see things from that 12th house aspect, from grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities, the unconsciousness coming into consciousness, the skeletons falling out of the closet and showing themselves. But when it starts to come into the first house, it's coming closer to Saturn and starting to learn about the communication that supports you and will help you grow and mature as you go forward. So it's going to illuminate that communication with yourself as well as with the outer world and what you want to make of it. Saturn is all about the rules, the walls, the boundaries. So ultimately, it's the rules that define the character of who and what you are. So this is bringing in a new communication, a new understanding to that. And it's definitely giving you a new platform to grow upon. Okay, so this is a good thing. Now you got the full moon that's going to take place on the 16th and Leo, your opposite sign. I'm going to come back to that in a minute, but I want to make sure I throw that out there. You have the sun, which is going to be leaving your sign and going into Pisces on the 18th. And you have Mercury and Mars, which have been going like this for quite a while. And that's kind of all that stirring of the energy. Is, are you being valued? Should you take action? Are you being valued? Should you be aggressive? Where's the value? Where's the sensitivity? And what are you doing with it? And it's been going like this for a while. Well, Mars is going to pass Venus in your 12th house. And it's going to tell you it's time to take action. And that's going to take place on the 17th. So all of this energy is going to start really moving forward. The 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, you're going to start seeing a full freight train ahead energy moving forward. And that's a positive thing. But I want you to understand that prior to that is a lot of the understanding of making the right decisions when you move forward and seeing the true full spectrum of yourself and the situation and the world around you as you're moving forward so that you make the right decisions and you're not having to learn a lesson over and over and over again. You have the power to see the truth and come into it now. Okay? Now, the thing is, like I said, your 12th house has Mercury and Venus, Mars and Venus, which have been teaming up. But you also have Vista here. Vista is the keys. It's the keys to the lessons to learning. So if you're paying attention to that grief, sorrow, shame, blame, the skeletons in the closet, and all that stuff that's been coming out, it's showing you the exact things that keep happening, that keep not working out, and showing you exactly what needs to change. This is the keys to opening the door, to making the commitment to the direction of where you want to be and who you are come into fruition. And she's showing you where you are not honoring yourself or where you're harming yourself by making yourself see these things through the mirroring effects. Okay. Now, you also have Pluto there, but Pluto's going to be there for a couple more years still. So this is definitely bringing healing in. Like I said, you've got Saturn and Mercury here, but you also have who is it? Brain fart, sorry. You also have Juno here, which is the sacrifice and the commitment itself to making it last. So this is showing you exactly how to stand firm and in your power if you're learning the lessons. How to truly be not just the Aquarius sign, because the Aquarius sign is the waters of knowledge being poured down into the life we are. But you're not the sign. You just are an Aquarius. You're born with a part of that energy. So this is asking you to tap into those waters better. Tap into those waters better and see where and what a part of that is in the character and how you can strengthen it. All right. And the rules that go with it, the communication that go with it, and how to make that character more firm, that personality, that shine of who and what you are. You're critiquing it. Then you're going into your second house, which is where Jupiter is and where Neptune is, and the sun's coming in here after the 18th. So for some of you, it's still your first house, but for some of you, yes, you'll be moving into your second, because depending on your birth date. So it's going into the second house, which is still dealing with the character, but we're getting more into self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, standing in our power, or where we're not in our power and we feel like a lion in a cage. That's part of that rejected, helpless feeling, and not knowing what to do, having that part of being afraid of speaking with authority and wondering what the outer world is going to say. This is learning to let that go. This is learning to believe in yourself, believe in the power of you, believing in the destiny of you. And the sun is going to be illuminating it. See, now the thing is, you have Jupiter here for the next year. So Jupiter is going to be illuminating your self-righteousness and your self-power to come back in to the authority of the soul character that's you, with a regal righteous force, and helping you to understand just who you are, how powerful you are. You got the witch and the unicorn, helping you to see how important it is for you to be here right now and to stand in that power and to be you with the dignity and the liberation to be able to believe in what you are bringing to the table of this planet, or your little world, so to speak. And Jupiter is here to bless you in every way possible, as long as you're being upfront and honest with it, and you're not in denial and going, yeah, it's okay, when you know damn well it's not. Because Jupiter brings abundance to everything it touches, but it can only bring it in positive ways when you're feeding it positive. And when you're doing that in a positive way, then the manifestation comes positive. So this is very important. It's the law of attraction and manifestation, and bringing you. The second house is also responsible for your money. So this is bringing you everything that you, prosperity, health, wealth. Health is wealth, emotional. So this is giving you such a good, powerful energy, but you've got to be standing in it in that positive aspect. If you're insecure in it, Jupiter can ultimately give you the coming in, and you don't want that. So this is why I'm giving it to you so powerfully. Now, your third house is communication. You learn how to. It's got Chiron here, and it has Athena, the warrior goddess, here. It's teaching you how to strategically understand the communication from a higher perspective, and to hold on to it, to not just willy-nilly quick jump into the communication and say what's in your mind, but you haven't really got the bigger aspect. You're just looking at the small picture. This is teaching you how to communicate and see things from the bigger picture, from the communication of your spirit guides, and get the bigger knowledge, not just the here right now. And oh, well, there was so much more to that, but I kind of missed it all because I was too busy needing to be heard. You get what I'm saying? So this is communication of making sure you're being able to seek it all in. And then when you get into your fourth house, we're backing you up again with Uranus, which was one of your cards, coming into your independence, your individuality, uniqueness, freedom. It's one of your rulers. And it's in your fourth house, stepping into your inner emotional security, which strengthens you to the core. So you are definitely coming back online, like I said, and I mean online or offline, however you want to say it, but you're definitely coming into a higher spiritual part of your life, because this is, it's like they say, it's the age of Aquarius. But you guys have to understand, there's so much Piscean destruction that has to happen before this wonderful age of Aquarius can really come into its fruition. And that comes to do with a lot of you Aquariuses. You are having to get past some of your own inner destruction so that you can be part of that. So that you can, you're the waters that are being poured down into us. It's understanding it from, you're learning how to understand it from the true concept of an Aquarius of the higher waters, but you're still cleaning out the bottom funk. And as you're cleaning it out, you're coming into a whole new level of worth and value. And allow it to come. Allow it to come. You're just you're just cleaning off some of the funk. That's all that this is. And allowing it to continue to move forward in some wonderful ways. But this isn't so much about the outer world for you as much as it is for you stop putting it off on the outer world, for you to stop worrying about what the outer world and the outer relationships and their opinions and their views getting into your head, creeping in there, talking shit to you about, well, what would they think? Or what would the world do? Or fuck them. This is about you coming into you, into your righteousness, into your inner riches. You have to not worry about what they think. This is about letting go of the insecurity of this bullshit and coming back into the power of you. So this, even though in the beginning they kept saying the others and the outer, this is about no longer reflecting on the acceptance of the others. Because honey, the only acceptance you need is the one that accepts yourself. And then you're coming truly into wholeness, into a higher understanding. You're going to be feeling a lot of this really through this month because of the sun moving through and next month. But you're definitely going to be feeling a lot of this for the next couple months. But right now, we've just been talking about this month. But I'm letting you know, this is a freight train coming your way of power. So embrace it, love. Bye.